Hello darlings, and welcome to another Bedroom Guru with me, Nikki Allen. This is the final stage of your grieving cycle. And I say cycle because even if you get to this final stage, sometimes you can rock back to the other stages of grieving. We are now in the energy of acceptance. Acceptance is finally realizing that life has to go on, and that you know that your partner, your loved one, whoever it may be, has passed on. It's an acceptance that you won't see them again physically, and perhaps you may look back with melancholy, sadness. And don't get me wrong, even now sometimes when I hear my dad's song, I can get a bit teary. So, you're still going to be upset. You're never ever going to forget this person, obviously. And you're still going to have times of sadness, perhaps especially around anniversaries, special places you may go. Memories may trigger off, times that you had with them. But it will be with a sad happiness. Does that make sense? You'll look back and think, God, it was so lovely. I love them so much. But then that will be it. You won't have the feeling of the tightness in the chest, or perhaps the panic attacks, or the feeling of complete lack of control, the fact that you don't want to go on, the fact that you can't cope, the fact that you can't see the future. You won't have any more of those feelings. It will just be a very sad recollection of happy memories that you had with that person. Okay, if you're watching this out of the turn of the others, you're going to be thinking, are you joking? I'm never going to get to that stage. Okay, so please, if you found this video first, go back to my stage 1 of grieving, which will take you through the various stages you may experience. Doesn't necessarily have to be in that order, as you go through your loss. And it could be the loss of anything, remember. It could be, a divorce. It could be a breakup. It could be, losing a job, a career, whatever it is that you're experiencing loss and you're grieving over. This is going to happen, whether it's jumping from anger to right way to acceptance, whatever it is. At least you're acknowledging what you may be experiencing by watching each video. This is why I've put them out there for, because some people write to me and say, am I going mad? Why am I feeling this? Why am I doing this? It's totally illogical. And I go, whoa. And this is what has basically given me the inclination and the inspiration to make these videos for you, so that you can look at them and can perhaps relate to what I'm explaining to you. Acceptance also makes you feel like you may be open to having relationships, especially if this is someone, that's passed over, that was your partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend. Again, you'll be abhorred by this if you're back at the early stages of grieving. I remember doing a reading for somebody, and her husband had only been gone about a year or two. It was about 18 months, something like that. And she adored him. It was her one and only true love. She'd never been with anybody else her whole life. And been with him for about 30-40 years. And I said to her, he came through and he said, look, there's going to be someone that's going to take you on a cruise. Say yes. And he said, you will be with me when you come back up to heaven, but for the time being, I want you to be happy and someone to look out for you and look after you. She was absolutely disgusted with what he said. How dare you? I can't ever think of being with another man. How dare you say that? I can't believe he said that. And I thought, we might have said it a bit too soon. I was really concerned about it, what he'd said. Anyway, about 4 months later, I got this email from this lady, and she'd joined a bereavement group. And in that group, she'd met this lovely man who was also a widow. And they'd got very friendly, and he'd asked if she wanted to go on a cruise. And she agreed. And now they are together. So what may seem to you the most disgusting thought process of moving on and finding someone else, when you've actually gone through your grieving cycles, you may be into a situation, you could be in acceptance for 4 or 5 years. Some of you, I know people that will never, ever, ever marry or go near a person again, which I find quite sad. You know, they say, no, that's it, I'll just, you know, I'll wait until I die to go back with him. And I just think, wow, because I would feel that the partner up there would be like, oh, don't do this, you know, be happy, because I can see the bigger picture. You're going to be with me forever. We're always going to be together throughout every single lifetime that we do. And that's a shame that people, you know, create this sadness for themselves, almost martyr themselves in memory of their loved one, and stay single for like 30 odd years. It's fine though. If that's what makes them happy, that's absolutely fine. All I'm saying is that with acceptance, you will get feelings of, well, life goes on, I have to move on. This is also when, you know, you make decisions like moving. You know, I've had so many memories in this place. Either they're happy, or you just think, I need a fresh start. And again, people that are grieving differently to you may kind of criticise you and say, wow, you've moved on quick, even if it's like 5 years later. But don't allow other people to sway your acceptance of the situation, and that you are now ready to move forward and move on. Okay, it doesn't mean you're forgetting them. It doesn't mean that you're disrespecting them. It doesn't mean that you've got no thought or love for that person. It means that you are suddenly realising that you're back in the game, and that life has to go on because you've got a whole life to lead. Okay, you know, and the other difficult situation, especially if you're a younger widow in a relationship and you have children, you know, then the children are having issues with you meeting new people, and they can be an absolute cow or little bugger. I remember after when my mum started dating a few years after my dad passed, and I hated every single one of them. They were lovely fellas. I hated them because I still wanted my dad. And you know, she'd got to a level of acceptance, and so she was happy to perhaps date and, you know, be taken out for dinner, and I hated it, and I was an absolute bitch. I was, because I just thought it was disgusting that she should move on and forget my daddy. So I was a cowbag. I know I was. So, you know, it's a very, very difficult thing, acceptance, because you could come to a stage of acceptance a lot earlier than other people, but don't allow them to pull you back into other stages just because they haven't got to a stage of acceptance. That's what I'd say with that, okay? Take it easy still, you know, but normally when you're at the stage of acceptance, that is a stage where you've got no emotional pull here. As I say, yes, you may get a bit teary, yes, you might have a little cry, but then it's kind of over and done with. It's not life affirming, I am completely devastated and I can't move on. It's I'm really sad they've passed, I'll always love them, you know, and you reflect with happiness and fondness, but then you know that you've got to carry on. That's the difference with the acceptance phase. Okay, and that's a stage I love to see in people, and love to hear when they email me and say, this is how far I've got with my grieving, is this okay? Some people then may revert back to guilt because they're now selling the car, they're moving on from the house they lived in, or whatever they're doing, or they're selling their mum's house because they don't want to live in it, even though it was, you know, they got it in the inheritance, all sorts of things, and then that pushes you back to guilt again. Don't feel guilty. Your loved ones want you to move on. They want you to be happy. They want you to survive this loss. They're with you all of the time. No matter what creed, what relationship, what belief system you have, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you for a fact that they are with you. They will guide you. They will hold you at night. They will love you and look out for you. Yes, it's not as good as them being next to you and holding your hand and giving you a cuddle. But do you know what? I find it so much easier knowing that all of my loved ones, even if they are something invisible and, you know, spirit form, I don't care. I still know they're with me. That's got to be better than feeling absolutely nothing whatsoever and thinking they're gone forever. So for me, it brings so much comfort because I know they're looking out for me. And that's what I hope you will do. And, you know, this is the stage where lots of people also start investigating the spiritual side of it. Where is he? What are they doing now? How can I connect with them? How can I establish a spiritual relationship? And that's where we come in. And you can also do that. You can also encourage that, which we could discuss in another video, but I'm sure I've already done that in another video when it's sometimes when they come back. I think the title of the video is called When Spirits Come Back or something, and it's when they come back and start to initiate communication with us. Interesting. So I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that a lot of you can relate to what I'm talking about now. So you are in a stage of acceptance. On the next video, I'll be giving you tips on how to alleviate any of the stages you're in through spiritual tools. I'll also be providing support groups in the description box below on the next video, so that you've got everything you need to take you through this awful time of your loss. So I hope that helps you, and I hope all of these stages have helped you. And as I say, next time it will be advice on how to alleviate this awful process of coping with the loss of whatever it is you're experiencing. So until then, well done, stay strong, and be kind to yourself. I'll speak to you very soon.